Hi, my name is Shawn Shaler. That is my friend Chris Ford, aka The Objective Geek of YouTube and Twitter fame. And then that, if you'll notice, there's one other person here today, and his name is
My
Theo.
cousin. No, I'm kidding. It's not my cousin. Oh.
And Chris is my cousin. That was my line.
Oh, that'd be funny. No.
It's one of our cousins. Guess which who? Guess which person? No, Theo. And if you've been around a while, you've probably caught an episode with Theo before. Theo, thank you for taking some time out of your day to literally sit and talk about Avatar with us for hours. We really appreciate it. How are you doing? How have you been?
I've been good. Everything's all good. The first time I was on this show was in 2020, right? Was that the first time?
Probably so, yeah.
Was 2020, and then we did one more in 2021, and then we skipped 2022. So now, here we are.
Sincerely overcompensating.
Yes, and
I just listened. I just listened back to our NBA avatars as NBA legends. I really love that episode.
That was a lot of fun.
It's such a niche.
It was a great episode.
Graphic.
Totally agree.
Five people out there loved that episode, and everybody else.
The Venn diagram for NBA fans who are like diehard enough to like off the top of your head be like, oh well, in the finals and this time, or this NBA legend relates more so to this avatar. Is it's like you said, like 5 people.
Right.
But those 5 people, those guys had a great day. They were all over.
I'm sure
it.
They did.
Yeah.
Did you guys watch the All-Star Weekend?
I only caught the game. I only caught the All-Star game itself. It was. I had a very hard time watching it.
The thing is, the All-Star game has gotten so much better in the last year, but like so many people are injured. Like LeBron went out in like the second half. Steph's not there. Trey wasn't. I don't know if Trey was even actually. That's feeling. Kevin Durant wasn't there. Giannis only played one play. Like there were just so many people who were out. Like it just wasn't. And also they weren't. They for some reason they stopped being like the last 2 years they've been playing competitive, and this year for some reason they were like, no, we're not playing competitive this year.
They saw everybody else getting hurt. They're like, yeah, I'm not doing that.
Yeah, everybody's getting hurt. The dunk contest was actually pretty good though. I did like the dunk contest. That was kind of fun.
Yeah.
I still
saw the highlights of it.
The dunk contest, I still want them to just go out into the world and like TikTok sensation type dunkers. Like we can still have the NBA, your Mac McClungs and your great NBA dunkers. But let's bring some regular people in just out of the world who are amazing dunkers. I would love to see that.
There are so many like amazing dunkers on YouTube that are just like doing their thing. And they're really creative. Like just bring those guys. It'll be 10 times better.
I don't know, Chris. I don't know that it would last. I see you feeling skeptic, and that's totally fine. But it's something I want to try. It's something I want to see.
Well, you want to see. Really, what you want to see is the NBA superstars in the dunk contest, and that's part of the problem. Is that the superstars don't want to do it for whatever reason.
And I don't blame them. I don't.
Do it. Like you're doing more stuff in practice than in the dunk contest. Like John Morant, don't like. I hate when LeBron didn't want to do it all those years.
Right.
Like it's supposed to bring out the stars. Like that's what the dunk contest is for. There are so many people not in the NBA who are amazing dunkers, but they're not good enough to be in the NBA. Why do I want to see them in the NBA?
Because I think there are better dunkers out there in the world, like just more
creative.
There are. There's hands down.
Yeah,
they are.
True. In the there's this one guy with like blue hair.
Yep,
who like in the like they were in the All-Star game like during commercial break. He came out and did a dunk that would have got 50s easily, and like the NBA players on the sideline was like, "Yo, did you see that?"
And he was in jeans. I remember that he was wearing jeans.
Yeah. He was wearing.
What if we had some? So what if it doesn't have to be like 50-50, right? But what if you got 1 or 2 of those guys that are like contest winners? Like they kind of work their way up through this other competitive contest.
But then the NBA players would hate it though, because they would be outshone by just random people.
You don't think they would love just like, especially because the stars aren't in it, Chris? That's important here. You don't think that everybody would just love sitting on the sideline and watching, like this person who's just an amazing dunker go up against your Mac McClungs?
Exactly. I would enjoy that.
It's the NBA All-Star Weekend. I need to see NBA All-Stars all of them need to be stars.
True. Like Ja Morant, like Zion, right? Like we want to see those people.
If Zion is ever healthy enough to participate in a full All-Star weekend,
I'll
watch the whole thing.
I'm actually fine. I'm actually fine Zion not doing it because I feel like he would be the one to like break his freaking.
He would hurt his back
shin.
on a dunk or something. Yeah.
Yeah, he would. But the best dunk contest of all time, in my opinion, was the 2016 Aaron Gordon versus Zach
Levine. Yeah.
Flawless.
That was fantastic. I don't have a favorite one, but I did when I was little, and we had like NBA highlight VHSs or whatever, and one of them was just all like dunk contest highlights from, I don't know, like mid '80s. Like Jordan wasn't in the first one or two or whatever in the video, but it was like mid '80s to early '90s. And I watched through that video constantly, but it was just like the highlights. You didn't see any misses. It was all about MJ, like MJ and Dominic Wilkins. Yep. Spud Webb made a couple appearances that were very exciting. One year when MJ was injured, I think Spud won. But I probably burnt that video out.
Yeah, those are all super good. The 2000 dunk contest with Vince Carter is also like a big highlight.
That's great.
He definitely like spiced it up, and it needed it at that time.
Yeah. It was pretty boring in prior years.
So all NBA discussions aside, which I'm happy to have forever. Listen,
we talked about the podcast.
We talked about the Venn diagram. Theo, can I show you? Showed us something before we started that I think is awesome, and I was wondering if you could show us.
So in Christmas of 2021, I was gifted a ton of these cross-stitched Avatar characters, and my girlfriend decided to take, I think, 4 months to individually cross-stitch these and surprised me with them for Christmas.
Oh, man.
It's insane. Look,
how do you do that behind someone's back?
I don't know how she did this without me knowing, but see how detailed this is?
Appa looks incredible.
Holy crap, yeah.
It's insane. There's this one with Zuko, and like these are like crazy detailed. I think there's one with like Uncle Iroh too. There's Momo.
And viewers, if you're watching this right now, viewers, if you'll reach under your seat and pull out under your seat.
I like that super.
Oh, that's amazing.
Yeah, these are insane. Like just the amount of detail that went into these. These are like really crazy.
I think we know whose significant other likes them the best. Oh, Momo's really. I like all the white space above Momo. Like I like how his head fits the outer circle shape. That's fantastic.
These are super cool. Super cool. A lot of time was taken.
She definitely likes you more than our wives like us. 100%.
Well, that's the difference between girlfriends and wives, Shawn.
Girlfriends like you, wives don't. Yeah, I get it.
I mean, she and I have been together for 10 years. For 10 years. So I don't know how long you guys have been with your people.
Same ballpark, probably both of us.
Since 2010. No, my bad. So 2007. 2006.
For me, I think.
I've been married for
8.
11. No, I've been married for almost 13 years. Holy crap.
You've been married for 13 years?
Yeah, that's weird.
Are you serious?
Yeah, coming up on. I was married in 2010.
I was just handed a note. Wait, what is this? 22,000 stitches. Okay, that's
22.
Oh,
22,000 stitches.
My girlfriend, my wife, she loves me like 8,000 stitches tops. 8,000 is the number. If I had to over under.
Holy crap, man, that's work.
13 years, Chris. You serious? The math doesn't work out for some reason. For 13.
I've been married over a third of my life.
Aren't you just a year older than me?
I'm 34, about to turn 35.
Okay, so you're like a year and a half older. Okay, that compensates the difference. Okay. We just did our 10th last year.
Okay.
Well, yeah, Thea, thank you so much for taking a big chunk of your evening here to talk with us. I'm going to let Chris introduce the topic because I think I might be wrong. I think this originated in Theo's brain and then was chiseled away and shaped by Chris's brain. And then also I'm here. And so I'm going to let Chris introduce the topic.
You're the referee.
I'm the tiebreaker as needed. Also, I forgot I had dental work today. and so my face still hurts quite a bit, but it feels better. I think I can talk. I might just, if I'm silent, it's because I've given up. But Chris, tell us what we're doing for the next 4 weeks.
Next 4 weeks, we are having a team avatar fighting tournament. That means we're going to take all the team avatars and put them in a tournament. So we have Team Kuruk, which consists of Jianju, Kelsung, Heiran, and Kuruk himself. Team Kyoshi, which consists of Rangi, Karima, Jinpa, which isn't as strong. I feel like I'm missing one. No, that's it. And Kyoshi. And then you have Team Korra, which is not actually I'll go Team A because that's chronological order. Team Aang, which you have Aang, Katara, Zuko, and Toph. Maybe we'll use the Nonbender Sokka. That's nothing against them. It's just that the other team avatars don't have Nonbenders in the team. And then Team Korra, which going with Bolin, Mako, and Tenzin.
Kuruk and
So
Kyoshi
have one represent.
Kuruk and Kyoshi weren't woke enough to have non-benders in their squad.
I know, right?
Yeah,
Freaking racist.
it's messed up.
Okay. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna have all the different the benders of the different elements fight each other, and we'll vote about it amongst ourselves and debate and stuff. And so, like for the first fight, will be the old school Team Korra versus Team Kyoshi. So then, for instance, we'll have Kelsung versus Jinpa, and then we'll debate. All right, if 2 out of 3 of us or all 3 of us agree that Kelsung will destroy Jinpa, then Kelsung wins, and then we'll accumulate all these wins. Whichever team avatar has the most wins will win that matchup fight. If we need a tiebreaker, then we will discuss who, if there was just a huge battle royale of all 4 on the team fighting each other at the same time with the avatar state, who would win. Also want to point out that the avatars in this case, so if Kuruk had to fight Karima, he can only use water and cannot use the avatar state.
Right.
So whoever wins the old school matchup will fight the winner of the new school matchup, and then in the last episode they will fight for who is the best team avatar, and then before that we'll have an episode of who is the third best and who's the worst team avatar. So really interesting. I don't know where this is going to go. I did a couple preliminary looks at this. It'll be really interesting to see. Might be a dark horse winner here. Not sure.
I'm excited. This is going to be really good. Do we have a way to keep track of all of those data points?
I've got a pretty scientific piece of pen and piece of paper that I'm just gonna write on.
That's
all we need.
Classic, I'll even draw the little bracket picture. Chris, you want to walk us through the first matchup?
All right, I'll walk us through the first matchup. Imagine one of those like animations of Team Kyoshi versus Team Koruk. Kyoshi's been waiting to beat Koruk's butt this whole time because he caused her so much misery in her life.
That's true.
It's a grudge match.
They don't get to, but they only fight each other if it ends up in a tie. First matchup we will start with. Oh, first of all, I want to say this reminds me. Did you ever? Sean doesn't watch anime. A lot of anime. So he sucks. Yeah. Did you ever watch? I don't know if you watch anime either. But do you watch anime?
A little bit, sort of.
You ever watch Yu Yu Hakusho?
No, I have not watched that.
Ah, dang it, that's one of my favorite. Anyway, never mind. No, you have to understand the reference.
You got to.
Who knew that you were more likely to find 3 people that liked Avatar and NBA and not Avatar and Yu Yu Hakusho?
Such a good anime. So in it, they go to these like dark tournaments, and like there's a 4-team or 5-man team. They have to face other 5-man team. And oftentimes they would do the same type of fight. It was like, all right, this person fights this person. Whichever team has the most wins, win that entire thing. Anyway, all right, we're gonna start off with airbending. So we have Kelsung versus Jinpa. And I'm sorry, people who didn't read the books, but go read the books. We'll explain a little bit of stuff. We won't spoil everything, but we will get into detail on like just how strong these people are. So first of all, I'm gonna say maybe I'll save Lhasa for Kelsung into later matches if they do get farther. But Kelsung which is absolutely. Oh, and we're going with the strongest we've seen them in whatever story that they're in. We're not going to really try and be like, oh, well, at their peak. Like we don't know what Aang is in Team Avatar from Avatar Last Airbender is in their peak, and they're like mid-20s, but we know what peak we see in the show. Okay, but with Kelsung, we know that this guy was a freaking for an Airbender. He was violent, like making
Wasn't he?
tsunamis.
Yeah, he made a tsunami or like a big like typhoon. Is that right?
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
to
that's
ward off ships like pirate ships and stuff like that. But he ended up like inadvertently killing
yeah, and
hundreds of
he killed a
people.
lot of people,
Yeah,
unfortunately.
I think
Jinpa doesn't come close to Kelsung.
something that's gonna impact this match in particular is just gonna be like limited sample size, right? And it's so hard to get that imagery of Kelsang from that, like essentially being told that horror story about Kelsang's past, right? It left such a mark in my head that I think the limited sample size is going to hurt Jinpa because we just don't see anything that combats that.
Yeah, like we see Jinpa in the fight versus Yoon and the Rise Shadow of Kyoshi, and he's
Yep.
not like that big in the fight, and so I'm gonna use that against him.
It is.
a
It's
little
just
bit.
it's a small sample. That's all we got.
So Jinpa, though, he is the mysterious White
Mm,
Lotus
mhm. Yep,
member, right? Uh,
yep.
I would assume if you're a White Lotus member and you're a bender, you're probably really good of some sort. You're going to be a master of some sort. So, I mean, we can probably put him on a level of for like a sample size of something that we've seen visually. In my mind, I see him kind of like a Tenzin type of fighter, but Kelsong just kind of wipes the floor with him, in my opinion. He's
That's a
creating-
that's a great point. I don't know if it changes my mind, but it's a nice point to bring up that I hadn't considered.
Mhm.
Yeah, that's a good point. And I do believe he has his. Wait, I'm actually not sure if he has Airbender tattoos or not. I forgot that. I don't know. I mean, it's not gonna matter. I don't care if he's ordained master or not. Kelsung is confirmed to be a master, and his beats just seem freaking
Well,
mind-boggling.
too bad Kelsong got taken out by a little pebble, but yeah,
Yeah, he was a little weak.
He didn't play any defense. He's Bill Murray in Space Jam.
Oh
Yes.
man, that writing is so freaking good. Like the writing is like Sung then threw a gust of wind at him, but he was fighting a different match than his opponent. His opponent just threaded a shard of earth that could go through the wind and caught him on the neck. Oh man.
It's one of my favorite scenes in any book.
seriously. And actually, what made me want to read the books was Antoine Bandelay's super short video describing that exact scene. He described it without spoiling it, and he was like, this is like the coolest scene in Avatar I've ever seen. And after I read it, I was like, it happens in your head, so you get to kind of like make up your own.
Yeah,
movie.
yeah. Your imagination
And-
is greater than anything.
Dude, in my head, look, that scene is so good. Like I would love to
Yeah.
see it produced live if they. I know that they're probably not going to, but it would be really cool if they did. There's a lot of scenes in the Kyoshi novels that should be
So good.
animated.
Yeah. Shawn.
I think we're all in agreement there. Yeah, Kelsang
Yeah.
for me. Yeah.
All right,
Awesome.
so one point goes to Team Korra, which it pains me to have Kelsung on Team Korra and not Team Kyoshi.
Yeah.
Because it's like
Yeah.
he was so vital to Kyoshi as a character and as a father figure,
Mhm.
but he wasn't on her Team Avatar. Like,
Yeah.
yeah.
No, you did the right thing in the setup. It stings, but
All right, next up, let's go. I'll try to save the Avatar somewhat last. We'll go with this is a good one. Hey Ron versus Rongi.
man,
The
that's messed up.
mother-daughter matchup.
That's messed up.
Oh man!
Like
Wow.
like imagine Azula at like 16 fighting Azula at 16. and that's what you get.
I think I have my pick for this. Wasn't Heyron's legend that she was accidentally killing people in Agni Kai's?
Like,
Wasn't that her?
killing / like maiming them. Yeah.
I think she killed one person and maimed.
I
like, a bunch.
think you might be right. But yeah,
Yeah.
she and like fights that were like somewhat illegal, or not fights that were
Yeah.
illegal. They were legal, but she was I don't know. It was just kind of shady stuff.
Right.
It's supposed to be like Friday Night Boxing, and she was taking people out.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm
So
gonna
many
go-
like
Yeah.
she has the record for the most accidental injuries in Agni Kai's.
That's right. That's what
Something
it
like
was. That's what it was. It was
Yeah.
accidental injuries. That
Accident.
air quotes. Now, didn't Rangi? She learned that dust stepping technique, right? Or
really quick.
jet stepping for her.
Yeah. That's what they called that one.
I would assume that could probably like play into your.
Yeah, no, that's a good point. So
fight
my initial reaction was Heyron, just for the same reason you just mentioned, that she's probably way more ruthless than Rangi.
Right.
Rangi has a certain sense of honor in her
Mhm.
that she's like, everything has to be by the book. Also, she looked down on her mother for being like that ruthless.
Yeah.
And so for a while there, I had Heyron, but there's something really interesting about Rangi. I believe in the climax of book 2 of Shadow Kyoshi, she bends a different color fire. I believe it's like almost white.
Rangi does.
Yeah, like
Okay.
it's kind of one of those things that you can just read over, but I am like 90% sure that she was able to bend like a very bright colored fire.
Mhm.
No, I'm definitely sure it was that. So like, I wonder how much does that play into it. So that might make me sway to Rangi's side, but it's so freaking close. I don't know, Shawn. What do you think before I give a verdict?
I don't want to make all the. Oh, listen, I'm pro MJ, and I don't like comparing eras. But when in doubt, I always veer toward the modern. People tend to get better, stronger over time. So if it's
I think
close, I'm usually gonna veer towards the latter. And Rangi's gonna learn and know things. Like she's gonna know everything that Heyron did, and at some point, right, or at least most of it, and probably then some. So I have a hard time not picking Rangi in this case.
I
think.
do. Go ahead.
Go
sorry.
ahead.
No, I was going to go on
go
a
ahead.
totally different tangent. I do think that the better, faster, stronger thing is a myth, and that if you look at Jokic, how he's racking up MVPs, and he's the slowest dude out there.
He shouldn't have won last year. We wouldn't have this problem if he didn't. Embiid should have won last year.
It's so better, faster,
Sorry,
stronger,
folks.
smart, like better, just better, more well-rounded, right? You're still talking about a modern guy who, even 15 years ago, like nobody would have.
Like Giannis is like the epitome of better, faster, stronger in the modern time frame, right? But like you can still take Alonzo Mourning from 1994 and put him in today's game, and he's going to dominate. Right, he's super strong. He's super fast. Super, super brutal. Right, so I
love the Jokic point, but if anything, I would say that still almost validates my thought process of like we evolve the game, the way the game evolves forward, basketball or anything, but I'm kind of with Chris. I don't even like Embiid. Embiid went to KU. I love KU. I don't even like Embiid. He's a jerk, but he should have won. And that's all there is to it.
Well, as we all know, Michael Jordan is the greatest of all time. So I'm going to pick.
I'll stand by that.
I'm going to pick Heyron in this particular.
Oh, nice.
All right, so comes down to me. I'm very conflicted, but the thing that was giving me the edge for Heyron was that she played a little dirtier. That being said, I don't think those tricks will work on Rangi, because Rangi is so disciplined. She's faced very tough odds all the time. And like I said, she she was able to bend a fire that might be brighter and stronger than her mother. So in a very, very close fight, I'm taking Rangi.
Okay.
In a fiery matchup.
Yeah. I initially when I ran through these, I initially had Heiron winning, but the more I'm thinking about it, I think Rangi can pull it out.
The only thing that I like the idea of Heiron being maybe a little more vicious or whatever, but if we're talking about like a literal fight to the death, it's like, okay, well, Rangi's not fighting her mom at that point. She's pulling out all the stops and fighting
Right.
whoever. So
Mhm.
that's fun. That was a great one. I like that.
Yeah.
Chris,
This one won't be
one of the two avatars.
Yeah. This one won't be close. We'll go with Avatar Kuruk versus Karima. Not to like thing is, I can't think of that many like huge feats that Kuruk has because I just can't think of them on top of my head.
It's all
But people have
hearsay.
talked about him. Yeah, people have talked about him in the sense of like he's one of the greatest benders ever. Like he
Right.
like all four of them together. That team Avatar was known as like these are like four of the greatest benders in the world. And
Yep.
so I hate speculating too much, but I know he was a great bender. Like people have said it. And Karima seems like a very talented bender. He's really great at dust stepping or misstepping. Maybe that's what they call that one.
Yeah, I think it was
Definitely.
missed.
Oh.
Yeah, missed stepping. Yeah.
But she is not on the level of like Jianju or
Mhm.
on the level, and so by relation, I don't think she's on the level of Kuruk.
I would agree. Actually, I don't really remember any of her feats. Are there any high points in the
there's
story?
not. It was mostly a lot just about how she carried herself and her bending.
Mhm.
Like she almost like there was a. I think when Kyoshi goes to meet them, there's no stairs in the second story place, but she comes down like so soft and gentle that she was kind of using water bending to come down. But I think most of the time it's more so talking about her technique in bending rather than like her feats or power.
Right.
I don't think there's any empirical evidence or hearsay in the stories to suggest that Karima could best Kuruk. So we're gonna have some interesting ones here and there, and I think this is one of them.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. And there, like you said, like Kuruk's like pure talent was something that was talked about a lot. Was that he just had his talent level was there, kind of the Kobe Bryant of benders.
Well, they talk about like all manner of games with Kuruk too, right? Like it wasn't just bending; it was any sort of competitive.
Also,
right?
he was like he was also known as the world's greatest hunter.
Yeah,
Like,
that'll play.
and he was smart. He was like the best Pai Sho player.
Yeah, he was
in
the
the
best
world also.
Pai Sho player in the world,
So-
and a ladies' man, and a drunk.
Yeah,
really had
but
it all.
he was only getting drunk because he was fighting spirits all the time. In his defense,
fighting spirits like wine and spirits. That's a good pun right there.
yeah, wine and spirits. There we
I like
go.
that. I don't see a need to belabor this one personally.
All right, so it's 2-1. Team Korok is winning over Team Kyoshi. The final matchup is Kyoshi versus Jianju in Earthbending. This is a huge one here.
Okay.
What's important to me? I haven't gone first yet. I'm gonna go first.
Okay.
What's important to me here is that we get to take peak Kyoshi versus peak Jianju. So I don't get Kyoshi that's still like a bumbling klutz. I can have 230 years of experience Kyoshi or whatever, I don't want to oversimplify, but I think in the bigger picture, if you want to go find whatever evidence to highlight Kyoshi at her peak, I have a feeling that would be enough to best peak Jianju. I don't have a scenario in mind. It just feels right to me.
I'm gonna make a case for Jianju here because he was if you just take a couple of the very small points that we had to like watch him do his thing, he was highly creative on the fly, like constantly, right? Like the grave digger thing where he
His name is the Grave Digger.
right.
That is one of
he
the
made
greatest
that up on the
nicknames.
spot. Yeah, that is yeah. But he literally just was like, "Yep, okay, you guys bury your own stuff," and he just suffocated 50 people underground, just off the top of his head, and also was smart enough in a fight with the Airbender to kill an Airbender by doing a very small, minute, detailed bending move. I just think his creativity might be a little bit ahead of Kyoshi's.
He's a hands-on evil genius. That guy.
Yeah.
He doesn't need to prep.
Yeah.
So for me, this is one of those interesting things because this is like maybe one of the few fights that we have that we're going to talk about that the two characters fault each other.
Right.
And granted, Kyoshi was very young. She wasn't even a really great. I mean, she got to be a really great earthbender by the end of the first book. If I take that and think about it, and even I think about when Jianchu fought Kyoshi when she was in the Avatar state, he still came away like fine.
Mm-hmm.
Like he went fine. He was able to take off a rage Kyoshi and survive that. Sounds preposterous. And so in their last fight, when they're in the tea shop, I think, or maybe it wasn't tea shop, maybe it was some type of inn, some type of shop, and like they're bending this one pebble, and like they're both trying to bend it from each other. Both of them are like suffering. Kyoshi's suffering from Shirshu poison, so she's a little paralyzed and dazed. Yeah, Jianju is suffering from deadly poison that he purposely gave himself.
Mm-hmm.
And so they both weren't like at their mats, and they were pretty much tied with each other. People were afraid of Jianju. Like the Flying Opera Company, full of great benders, was like, "Wait, the Gravedigger is after you? The Gravedigger? Holy crap! What are you into? If Jianju the Gravedigger is after you?" So when it comes to just Earth, I find it hard to think. There's no type of antidote that I can think of Kyoshi not in the Avatar state being able to beat Jianju, who is like probably the best tactician maybe the world has seen. So my vote's for Jianju, which is weird to say. Might be sacrilegious for Kyoshi.
Also, there's an interesting, like, I'm kind of replaying some things from ATLA in my head, but there's a couple of points where
Might have froze up a little bit, Theo. Right before the points too, man. What a tease!
I know, right?
What a tease. Theo, if you can hear us, you might back out, jump back in, see what happens. Chris, predict what Theo was gonna say.
Well, he was talking about Kyoshi. He was talking about from Avatar. Kyoshi in Avatar, we see her. All the things we see from her is mostly in the Avatar state.
Was she in the Avatar state when she broke the island off?
Yeah, she went into it and used that to break the island off and create Kyoshi Island.
You know, just to create some tension though, and put Theo like on the spot when he comes back. I'll say I'm not going to change my vote. I'm still going to stick with Kyoshi, and we'll make Theo break the tie if he jumps back in.
I think he was firmly in the Jianju camp.
He said he was going to make a case for Jianju, but he tried to play it. Polite.
Oh, okay, you're right. I don't think he was that far.
Chris, I will say that if Kyoshi were to win and we go to a tiebreaker, I really like the idea of the all-out brawl, and I'd be interested to make the first case in the all-out brawl if we go to a tiebreaker. If not, if he picks Jianju, then we've got a winner. We'll give him a second here. Hopefully he'll jump back in. Man,
yeah.
I feel bad for Jinpa and Karima. I feel like they got rough matchups, man. They drew tough draws.
Jinpa, I knew. So I originally had this as a sweep, which was crazy to me. I was like, "Holy crap!" Like Team Kuruk sweeps Team Kyoshi. That is weird. That's. But he has a really.
But I think it's because you get all of the historical anecdote and background and
Yeah.
the empirical evidence of Kelsang and Jianju. But hey, that's what we had to go off of. So even
Yeah.
that would be a fair argument to make. We'll see.
Jimpa and Karima does definitely take it down a notch.
I mean, Theo, like what a what's it like tension build like we cut to commercial right before you find out who the bad guy is. That's what we got going on right now. There we go.
He's trying back in now.
Perfect. We've been waiting on the edges of our seats.
I hear stuff.
There
we go.
Theo, welcome
I've
back.
seen before you.
Theo, can
You
you
might be
hear us?
on mute.
I can.
Cool.
Okay. Awesome. Theo, just so you're aware, when you were gone, I pitched my vote for Kyoshi. So you're the tiebreaker. Whatever points you want to make, and then break this tie.
Okay, so what I was saying before was Kyoshi, she does this thing in ATLA where she lifts these super, super heavy like statues and she sends them off, right? And there's a lot of feats that you can actually watch Kyoshi do in just really short little bits in Avatar: The Last Airbender, where she's constantly doing really heavy work. And to me, that's kind of like a sign that she kind of really never got away from doing extremely heavy things. I'm sure that she mastered. Of course, she's an Avatar. I'm sure that she mastered smaller stuff, but I think she favored heavy lifting. And in my opinion, I feel like if we're just doing Earthbender versus Earthbender, Jianju would exploit the heck out of that. So I'm going Jianju all the way.
That's a great point. And hey, that prevents the other tiebreaker. Chris, I was going to note if we went to a tiebreaker and we went to an all-out brawl, for whatever it's worth, I was going to point out that, like, if Heiron versus Rangi was close and Kyoshi versus Jianju was close, and then Kuruk and Kelsang, like, went in theirs handily, it would make some amount of sense that even if we had gone to that kind of tie battle royale, that I think Team Kuruk probably would have prevailed anyway.
Yeah, I think so.
But hey, that being said, we've got a first match champion, and it's Team Kuruk, which I mean, I didn't give this a whole lot of thought beforehand, but I suppose, like, Chris, you mentioned when Theo was gone that you basically had like a sweep at first when you were first putting these things together, which is pretty interesting. So that's cool, though. Congratulations, Team Kuruk. We don't have any prizes or anything.
On to the next round, the championship round.
Yeah, final thoughts before we go. Next week we'll for you listeners, for us, we're sitting in the same place. For the listeners and watchers, next week we'll go to the modern era players, the team
Korra versus
Team
Team
Korra.
Aang.
And yeah, any closing thoughts before we do that?
Oh, I'm excited to see what happens next. I think this is pretty cool. I really wasn't expecting for Team Kuruk to win this, so I guess they're kind of a pretty formidable group of benders.
The ruthlessness of that whole squad won out.
Yeah.
Well, hey, thank you for watching Avatar: The Last
Oh,
Podcast.
Theo, do you have a YouTube channel? Are you starting a YouTube channel?
Please.
Oh, yeah. So I started a new YouTube channel, guys. It is called The Blue Spirit, and
Nice.
I'm going to be doing
Stellar
a few different things. I just posted one video of me rambling. I apologize when you listen to it that the background music is a little too loud. So sorry about
Takes
that.
a lot of as a former YouTuber, because I don't even YouTube anymore. It's hard to find that right, like I don't know. Sometimes I feel like, man, this background music is way too loud. Sometimes I'm like, does anyone even hear the background music?
Right.
But
Right. Yeah. So I'll be doing a lot of different things. One thing that I'll be talking about is other Avatar YouTube channels. So I'll be doing that, and then also the Blue Spirit is also going to be talking about the personal effects of the show. So one thing that a lot of people don't really talk about when it comes to Avatar is everyone talks about doing video essays on this character and how great the show is, but a lot of times not a lot of people are talking about how it affected them personally in their lives, whether that's in a humorous way or in a serious way. So I'll be bringing people on to talk about that, talk about that for myself. And so I don't know when I'm going to post my next video, but I got a channel, so go subscribe.
That's awesome, man. We'll put the channel and your other channel down in the description, and all of our other information in the description. So if you feel like giving any of us likes or thumbs up or subscriptions or whatever interaction you're willing to spare us, we'd appreciate it. And come back next week for the modern era battle. The modern era, I already forgot what we're calling it. The modern era fight. And thank you very much. We'll see you next week. Theo, there's an awkward 20 seconds here where sometimes we talk and sometimes we don't. Right now I'm talking. Chris usually hums, sings.
Not today. No, I'm kidding.
Ruined
Go
it.
Chiefs. Chiefs won. I meant to say that at the beginning of the episode.
Oh,
Chiefs won the
that's
Super Bowl.
right.
That was cool.
Yeah, how was that for you guys?